This is your Weather Extreme video for Saturday, April the 21st. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters, and just a quick reminder that tomorrow is Earth Day, a day to think about conserving, educating, and recycling for our Earth and being good stewards of the planet. There's a look at our Skycam network from Birmingham, and we've got some low clouds and some patchy light rain that's having a tough time showing up on radar, and an isolated shower or two. It looks a little stormy over towards Fayette, too, as we see the low clouds over there. But it looks a lot nicer over at Mount Cheaha, as we see looking off what appears to be to the northeast a bit, that it's a little bit nicer looking sky. We do have a cold front moving through the area, and that cold front's going to be ushering in some drier and cooler air, so we're looking at some highs in the 60s. Of course, part of the reason for those temperatures will be the strong northwesterly flow, and a pretty good fetch at that, too, as we'll talk about the GFS model run in just a few minutes. Temperatures across the country relatively mild for this time of year. Only the central Great Lakes area around Lake Superior and down towards near Chicago below freezing. Now, Chicago's still above freezing, but very close to freezing there. And then across our area, no freezing temperatures, but you can see that we have a good northerly flow that's developing, and temperatures across Tennessee in the 40s, whereas down here we're in the in or near 60-degree mark with a few upper 50s in there too. So certainly going to be an interesting day. Kind of a split pattern almost. We've got the main impulse off to our north, the trough that's producing the rain over Tennessee and Kentucky, and then we've got that closed low over the Gulf and the upper closed low, and then a surface low that's helping to produce that rain over the north-central Gulf. So kind of an interesting pattern, and as you can see, the GFS is suggesting that they kind of split, with the main rain threat over the peninsula of Florida as well as up into New England over the next 5 days. Storm Prediction Center outlooking a slight risk for the about the southern half of the Florida peninsula for today. For day 2, there is no specific slight risk area, but the slight a risk goes up into the eastern portion of North Carolina, where it says see text there on the map. And then on day 3, no organized severe thunderstorms are forecast. All right, the 060 GFS model run, and here comes our front. A lot of the rain is right behind the front, and of course the rain with the surface low down in the central Gulf. Here comes the major trough coming in. And we see kind of one impulse moving across Florida. That's the one responsible for the severe weather threat for the southern half of the Florida peninsula. But you can see the strong impulse coming through the trough there in the vicinity of North Georgia. And of course, what that means is that the weather sweeps on out. And please note the 540 line. That's that first blue line as you go north. Look at the 540 line coming down into the vicinity of Nashville. We see a very strong northwesterly flow as a result of what has become now a closed low, not just a trough, but a closed low at 500 millibars. And that means a nice some cool weather for Monday and Tuesday especially. On Tuesday, the northwesterly flow continues, and we could get down to the upper 30s, which means some patchy frost is not out of the question. We begin to see the pattern flatten on Wednesday, though, and as that does, that will usher in a warm-up for us, and you can see that the main threat for rain is still going to be well to our north with kind of a front along the Ohio River Valley, stretching back into the north-central part of the United States. Thursday, the pattern's still relatively flat for us, with much of the westerlies, at least in the eastern half of the country, along the Great Lakes and into New England, but we're beginning to see kind of a pretty deep trough developing on the west coast, and that means a front gets down into Kentucky and Tennessee. Now, the question is going to be Thursday whether or not it gets down into our area, and right now I'm saying no, but of course Friday that could be changing, and you can see that the ridge is kind of the upper ridge is moving in, but there's a little impulse there over eastern Tennessee, and the result is it looks like the front will probably sag down into the Tennessee River Valley on Friday, which means we may have to introduce at least a small chance for showers on Friday. The ridge comes over us on Saturday, And with that, of course, I think that we should be pretty much dry as kind of the front washes out. Extending the forecast out a little bit further, you can see that we have a major ridge in the pattern, the 500 millibar pattern at the end of April. This is the 30th of April. And then as we get out into the first part of May, this is the 5th of May, the pattern once again flattens down for us, but you notice the westerlies are pretty far north with much of the traveling weather systems over the Great Lakes. So looks like kind of a benign end to the month for us, and we can certainly use that. Well, thanks for tuning into the Weather Xtreme video. I expect to have the next one posted around 7:30 or 8 tomorrow morning. In the meantime, I hope your I hope your Saturday is a good one, and I hope that you make it a great day. Godspeed.
Thank you for trusting us to be your #1 source for news
in all of Central Alabama.
in back-to-back ratings periods.
More people watched ABC 3340
than any other station in Birmingham.